everyone, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Racquel. Normally I read tarot, but today is a tarot lesson, and this is in ethics. So it's more of like a discussion. It's a standalone, so if you haven't watched any of my other tarot lessons, you don't have to, but you can go check them out if you want to. For the others of you that have been around for a while, this is just our little laid back, chilled out week because I'm letting you catch up on the other lessons that I put up online. All right, so ethics and etiquette. What is that in tarot? What does that mean? Like, why do we have this? Okay. All right. So I have got a couple of things. First, I'm going to explain why you should have this. Then I'm going to explain my ethics, what I personally do as a reader. And then we're going to go over, there's 3 danger zones when it comes to ethics in tarot. And then after that, I'm going to go over the etiquette, and then we'll be done with the video. So if you want to come back to this later and you have a question on one particular thing, I will timestamp down below, since there is no notes for this class, but I will timestamp down below. And the only homework I have for this class is I want you, if you're thinking about reading tarot professionally in the future, I want you to think about your own set of ethics, what you will read for and what you won't read for. Okay? All right, so why do we have ethics and etiquette in tarot? All right. Well, for one, people come to you for guidance. You are like a counselor, a best friend, an advisor. Okay? So they come to you for guidance. And usually when somebody's seeking guidance, they're lost, they're emotional, they're upset, something's happened, and they need to see a way out of it. And when people are in that state, you want to handle them with care, because emotions can be fragile. But do you tell them everything that's in the cards, or do you sugarcoat stuff? Now, me personally, as a tarot reader, I don't sugarcoat anything. I'll tell you bluntly, no, this is going to happen, because I'm that type of friend in real life. I will tell a friend, hey, you're being an ass. You know what I mean? You're being an a-hole right now. I'm that type of friend. And that's exactly how I say it in tarot. You know, if I see it, if I hear it, I speak it. So, there are certain things I will read for and certain things I won't read for. And we'll get that when I go into my code of ethics. But why is it important to have ethics? Well, for one, it builds up your reputation. It shows who you are as a person, as a reader. So if you're honest, you're open, you're sincere, you care about your clients, they're going to want to come back to you. You're going to build up a reputation of integrity, kindness, and honesty. All right? You're building up your character, you're building up your repertoire. And if you follow your own code of ethics, you will attract the right kind of people to you. Not everybody agrees with everybody else's ethics. That's why it's such a touchy subject, because we all have different belief systems. We all have different moral compasses, right? But you will attract people to you who admire you for those certain code of ethics. And they'll keep coming back to you because of that. And it's good to build up that reputation and to build up a reputation with your client or quorant, to make a relationship, kind of like a client-reader relationship, kind of like a friendship. Get to know that. Well, you're going to get to know them anyway because you're reading their cards. But, build that relationship with them so that for one, they'll feel more comfortable and they'll feel more at ease. And when my goal is when people come to get readings from me, I want them to walk away with their mind at ease on a situation, because that's what they came to me for. Okay? I want to put their mind at ease. All right? That's my main goal, you know? And so that kind of, and then that will build that'll build your reputation. I'm not saying sugarcoat stuff, because I don't. If it comes out and I know you're upset and I know this is going to upset you, I'm going to say exactly what I'm going to say, what I see, okay? But then afterward, I'm going to give them some type of positive affirmation or positive affirmation that it will get better. Because as you're learning tarot and as you've walked through life, life throws hard things at you and it always does get better. So you're not lying to your client at all. It will get better. You're just seeing how it's going to get better and advising them how to make it better. Okay? So, that's one of the reasons why we have ethics, is so that we can develop that bond, we can be, honest, reputable, and stuff like that. So that's one of the reasons why there's ethics. Another reason why there's ethics is because it's your own moral compass, okay? It's your own karmic debt, all right? If your ethics are a little off or a little questionable, your karmic debt's going to come back to you, right? Because it always does. Always does. All right? So that's another reason why ethics are important, because you're not just telling stories, you're not just reading for people. What you say in a reading affects them profoundly, and then they go home and it affects their life. So you're affecting people's lives here. You really are. All right? So you want to make sure you have a good set of ethics, because if you don't have a good set of ethics and you're affecting people's lives in a negative way, the universe is, it's powerful, dude. All right? Another thing is legal repercussions. Legal repercussions. Because if you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, or if it comes out the wrong way, and the client goes home and does something, and then everybody's like, oh my god, the tarot reader told her, you're getting a legal repercussion. So you got to make sure that you tell, and you have your client sign some type of a document, that what you say in a reading is just advice, because that's all it is. It's advice. It's spiritual advice. It's advice, okay? And that whatever they take away from the reading, you are not solely responsible. And you want to make sure that your reader knows, or your client knows, that they shouldn't give all of their power up to a reading, okay? Because life is a journey. There's a million different paths that you can go to reach that end goal, right? I can tell you your past and be accurate, okay? Because that's already happened. I can tell you your present, what's going on in the situations right now. I can tell you what can possibly happen in the future, because the future is not set in stone. All right. So you have to let your clients know that the future isn't set in stone, that you can always change the outcome of your future. So just make sure that you have your ethics and what you won't read for. Make sure you have all your bases covered when it comes to that. I am not an advocate for bad advice. I do not feel like people should be giving bad advice. I feel like you should be giving informed advice. All right? So that's part that goes right into the ethics as well. All right? Now, when you're talking to them, you know, you want to talk in soft tones, you want to talk in smooth tones, you want to really relate to them, okay? Um, yeah, so hold on, I got to collect my thoughts for a second. Okay, so my code of ethics is one, I always make sure that when a client's coming to the reading, they know what I read for, what I'm about, and I make sure that they know that they have the ability to change their future or whatever they get out of a reading. I tell them, you know, even if it's a personal reading, I say it might not make sense now, but it probably will make sense later, because it 100 like 99.9 out of the times it does. Okay? But it doesn't make sense till like much later on. I let them know that, you know, and I let them know that they have the power to make their own decisions. This is just advice, okay? Two, I want to make sure that they're leaving with some type of peace of mind. Some type of peace of mind, okay? Three, I want to make sure that I have a good relationship with them. I want to make sure that what I did was meaningful, okay? Not everybody clicks. You know, I've had clients come to me and come to me once, never come to me again, but I've had returning clients, okay? So, you know, not everybody clicks with the reader that they're gonna get read from, all right? So just keep that in mind if like some clients don't return. It's because they just didn't click with you. They click with a different reader. Same thing with the YouTube channels. I mean, sometimes I click with one reader for a while, and then sometimes then I'll have to go over and I'll click with two more like a couple of months later, and then I'll go back and I'll click with that reader again. It's all about, you know, who's giving the message and when it's giving the message, okay? And I know what I won't and won't read for. And I won't read for health. I have my own personal reasons for that, because I'm clairaudient, clairsentient, and clairvoyant. So or not send. Yeah. I feel, I see, and I hear. And when I'm giving a reading and I'm in the zone and I get these signs and these messages and stuff, I speak everything I am seeing, hearing, touching, whatever. Okay? I speak the truth. And if I see something or I feel something horrible health-wise, I don't like to touch on it. That's like one thing I don't want to touch on. Because, for one, well, we're going to get into that with the medical, the three danger zones of tarot reading. One of them's medical, so we're gonna get into that later. But I don't read for health, and that's pretty much it. I read for everything else, but I won't read for health. And a lot of my clients know that I don't read for health. And that's pretty much it. Those are my codes that I stick by. All right. I make sure that the clients always leaving with a peace of mind. I make sure that what I'm telling them is going to be beneficial to them. And whatever I see in the cards, whatever I hear, see, or feel, I speak to them. I tell them everything, because I feel like if I'm getting the messages, they are meant to hear the messages. That's just personally what I feel. If I'm getting the messages, they are meant to hear it. They aren't meant to have it sugar-coated. They aren't meant to have it, some parts of the message left out, because that'll just confuse your client more. So I always believe in what I see, hear, and feel, and see in my cards. They need to know. It's there for a reason. I'm talking to Spirit. Spirit knows if they can handle it or not. Okay? All right. So those are my ethics. So now let's get into the danger zones. All right. So one danger zone is medical. The other danger zone is infidelity. And the other danger zone is uh, sugarcoating or, glossing over the truth. Okay. All right. So when it comes to medical, you have to remember you are not a licensed doctor. You do not have, unless you are a physician or a doctor of some kind that just all of a sudden woke up one day and said, I want to do tarot. Okay. You are not a licensed doctor. So you cannot give out prescriptions like, oh yeah, start taking this herbal tea and throw away your heart medication. You can't be doing stuff like that. All right. That, for one, the legal ramifications. For two, the, it's just like, it's your moral compass, man. You can't be doing that. That's one of the reasons why I do not read for health. I stay away from that danger zone. But yeah, you're not a licensed doctor. Okay. Now I can tell you that in, my tarot series, I will teach people how to read for health because I know how to read for health because I've read for health before. That's the reason why I don't read for health now. But there will be a lesson for reading for health for those of you who can. Like, personally, I can't do it. I can't do it personally. All right. Not saying that you shouldn't do it, because if you're really good at reading for health, then by all means read for health. But when you're reading for health, remember that not the future isn't set in stone, for one. Okay. And for two, when you're relaying the message, say, maybe this might happen, or you might want to seek a second opinion in this or that. Okay. Keep it basic, keep it general. Do not go too far into depth with it, because that can give you legal ramifications and that can also hurt your reputation as a reader. I'm just putting that out there. The next thing is infidelity. And this kind of goes right back to privacy. And I don't know, did I talk about it? About my privacy ethics? I think I did. How I treat everybody like client doctor privilege here. I won't give out information of my clients to other clients, basically. All right. That's also in my code of ethics. But anyways, so infidelity. Okay. That's a hard one. I do read for that. But you have to, when you're reading for that, you have to remember that that person is coming to you because they kind of already suspect it happening, but they need confirmation in their mind that it's happening so they can go snoop and get further proof. Usually that's what it is, okay? Or they're worried about it and they want to have confirmation. Now, if you see infidelity in the cards, I always speak it. I say, this person looks like, from what I'm seeing here, this person, it looks like they might be. Or one of you. Like when I give generals, I'll say one of you is, because general readings is for the collective. You can vice versa those energies. But when I'm reading for a client, I'll say something like, if I see that they're being unfaithful too, I'll be like, well, you're being unfaithful too. Like, I'll tell them, but I'll do it in a nice way. You know what I mean? Will I give a definite yes or a definite no to them? The no's usually I do, because the no's are the easiest to give. I'll say no, no, but he has something else going on, you know? or she has something else going on. If I do see it, I'll say you might wanna recheck that. I'll be like, depending on what cards are around it, because there's all different types of situations. You know, and a lot of times they'll be like, well, can you tell me where to find the proof? Not unless my spirit tells me where to, not unless the guy, my soul family tells me where to tell you where to find the proof. Because some messages just don't come through. Maybe that person's not supposed to find the proof that day. Maybe they're not supposed to find the proof. Maybe it's going to work out in some other way. I relay the messages that I get from my guides, not from, not what the client wants to hear. But at the end of each reading, I do offer optimistic views. I don't sugarcoat. But infidelity, is it okay to say, yes, this person is definitely cheating? Or, no, this person has something else going on? Usually the no's are pretty self-explanatory. Yeah, you say no. But the cheating, there's a fine line right there. A fine line. So you just have to use it with discretion. You know, you can say, yeah, I think this person might be. Okay? Now that's sugarcoating. I don't sugarcoat. I'll tell you yes. You know, and that'll be my ramifications if some husband comes by and starts doing crap to me like ever seen the movie The Gift with that tarot reader? Yeah. That'll be my ramifications one day, because I do tell them. But it's up to you if you wanna deal with something like that. Okay, so the next one is spying. That's the next red zone there. Spying. So a client will come to you and they'll say, can you do a reading for my grandpa? Or not my grandpa, let's say, can you do a reading for my dad's new girlfriend? I don't like her. Can you do a reading for her and see what she's really about? No. Me personally, no. No. I'm not going to spy on somebody like that. And I'll tell the person, I'll be like, I can't do it. If you bring her in, I'll do a reading for her. I'll say, I can do a reading for you, and if she shows up, I can tell you how she's going to affect you. But if you're coming to me and you want me to do a reading for somebody else to see what's going on in their life, that goes right back with the privacy thing. This is my code of ethics. You know what I mean? Like, I won't do that. Now, if that person comes up in your reading, that person is meant to come up in your reading, and whatever she's lending to that reading, it's going to affect you in some way. So that technically isn't spying. Okay, but if somebody comes to me and says, hey, can you read my husband and tell me what's going on with him and tell me what's he doing? Or can you come to me and read my wife, what's she doing, da da da. No, I'm not going to do that. Because that's personal. That's their stuff that's going on with them. I'm not going to do that. That's against my moral compass. But everybody has their own moral compasses. You could do that. I'm not saying that you can't. But to me, it seems like privacy. It seems like breaking a privacy code there. What else? Now, I do, however, and this is the only spying I ever really offer, okay? If you have a child that's under 18, if you are, and you have to be the parent. I'm not gonna, if you're the aunt and you're saying, what's going on with my nephew? Not gonna do that. No. Have the mom come to me, you know? But if you have a child and you're worried about said child and the child is under 18 and you come to me and you want me to do a reading on them, I will do a reading on them. I will spy on them because they are children. Because, and you are their parent and you need help and guidance with this child. Okay? So that is like the only thing I do with the spying. Seriously. That's the only thing I do with the spying. But those are like the three main danger zones. It's medical, infidelity, and spying. So you really want to tread lightly with those things, because those things could make or break your career, and they could make or break your karma with the universe. You know what I mean? So you really want to tread lightly there. Actually, I'm pretty interested in what you think is ethical and what you think is unethical. So, if you guys want, comment below and let me know what you think is ethical and what you think is unethical. All right? Okay, so now etiquette. We're going to move on to etiquette. When you're giving a tarot reading, what is there proper etiquette for it? I think we all come up with our own proper etiquette because it's how we relate with our clients, and it's how we relate with, just the people that come to us, not our returning clients, but just the people in general that come to us. Well, like I said, my etiquette is I don't sugarcoat stuff. I'll tell you exactly how it is. All right? That's what I do. That's what I'm not. Other people, they will sugarcoat, and that's fine. That is all fine. That is all fine. That's your personality. That's what you do. There's nothing wrong with sugarcoating. All right? Nothing wrong with sugarcoating. But you do want to make sure that if you are being blunt, you do want to make sure that you offer. If you're not sugarcoating and you're being blunt, you want to make sure that you offer some type of optimistic outlook for the situation at hand. You don't want to be all negative Nancy towards this, okay? You want to add a little bit of optimism somewhere in there for your client, And it's not, like I said in the beginning, it's not lying. Because if you're a tarot reader, you know how often things crumble and new things start. Okay, so it's not lying. Everything does eventually get better. All right. So you want to add a little bit of optimism into your reading. Okay, that's good etiquette. Now, when you're sitting there and say you're doing a party, and there's like 15 people, or not even 15. Say that's a lot of people to read for in one night. But say there's a good amount of people, and you're trying to keep your reading times between you and a person down to only like 10-15 minutes, okay? How do you do that? Do you sit there and look at your watch every 5 seconds or look up at the clock as you're relaying information? If you do that, it kind of sends the signal to the person that you're reading for that you aren't about them, that you're just about the money, that you don't really care about their problem, that you're just about the money, okay? So it can be kind of tacky. I know readers that do that, and I don't want to, blow anybody out of the water or, hurt anybody's feelings, but it kind of comes off as tacky to me. I find it kind of tacky. What's a good way to get around that? Pick spreads that will only take 5 minutes to read. Okay? That way, if you get caught up in conversation with somebody, so if you pick a spread that takes 5 minutes to read, you can kind of allow that 10 extra minutes of talking time in between. Do you understand what I'm saying? So then that way you've got 15 minutes. So when the spread is done, it's at 15 minutes or just about 15 minutes or maybe a little bit over 15 minutes, but not too much. Okay? Now, what happens when you go over in a reading? When you go over said time limit, all right? Well, for me, it's, I will let the client know that, before we go into the reading, if we go 5 minutes over, it's no big deal. But if we end up going 10 minutes over, I require an extra $5 or something like that. You know what I mean? So just make sure you're upfront with them. Why do we have time limits? Because for one, it sucks our energy. It's very energy consuming, right? That's why we have time limits. And two, because a lot of the times we've got other appointments as well. Okay. So, just be mindful of how you're coming off with the time issue with the client. Okay. Don't look like you're in a hurry to get out of this reading, because if you look like you're in a hurry to get out of this reading, they're going to be in a hurry to get away from you. Do you understand what I mean? Like, they're never going to want to come back to you. They're going to hit the ground and they're going to run. All right. Like I said, it's all about building that repertoire. And when you go out and do parties, that's a good way to build your repertoire as a reader. So you want to make sure that you are coming across with nice etiquette, poised grace. You're not all about the money. You care about them, because, a lot of us, we get into this because we want to help people. We want to impact somebody's life some way for the better, okay? Don't ever lose sight of that, all right? Don't ever lose sight of that. So those are that's my etiquette. Just, treat them like, people are supposed to be treated. Be upfront, be honest with them. Keep the medical advice, to a minimum. If you're going to read for health, then you're going to read for health. I can't stop you. I personally don't do it, but, you might read for health and choose that you don't want to read for infidelity because you don't want to get caught in that situation. So, just keep that in mind. Just know that ethics and etiquette help you develop your repertoire and relationship with your clients. And remember that privacy is a big thing when it comes to this. You want to keep that relationship with your client, all right? And privacy is a good way to do that. And I think that's basically it for the ethics and etiquette video. If you have any questions, if I talked too fast or I rambled or I didn't give you all of the information, or even if you have stuff to add to this ethics and etiquette video, if you have some things you'd like to add to it, put it in the comments below or email me at journeysthroughthedivine. Sorry about that, my husband called. But if there is anything you would like to add to this, put it in the comments below. Anything you think I might have glossed over or skipped. And if you have any questions, email me at journeysthroughthedivine at gmail.com. It's in the description box below. And I will talk about it tomorrow in my Tarot Talk video, or in one of the future Tarot Talk videos whenever you see this. All right. Well, I hope you guys take care and have a great Wednesday.